Okay, I'll be running through the features of the new image batch application for macOS. I've already set up a small folder of 20 images to be processed. First, I'll walk through the process of resizing. To begin, select the folder of images to be processed. Then you can rename this output folder to whatever you want or leave it with this default value. The app opens on the Resize tab, so no changes needed on this bar. And we can move to choosing options for resizing. The dimension option allows you to choose which side of the image to size to, either width or height. And the resizer always maintains aspect ratios of all images. So let's say you need your images to have a maximum width of 1600 pixels. First, we can leave width selected and then enter 1600 in the new width box. Since we want our images to have a maximum width of 1600, we can leave enlarge images unchecked, meaning that any image that already has a width of less than 1600 pixels will just be copied over untouched. Okay, now that we have all of our options where we want them, we can click process. So you can see the new folder has been created inside the selected folder. Image batch never touches your original images. It always creates this new folder with the newly processed images. And if we look inside, we can see that all images that had a larger width than 1600 pixels are now sized down to exactly 1600 pixels. And any image that already had a smaller width than 1600 pixels was just copied over. Now say you do want to enlarge those images that have a smaller width than 1600 pixels. We can go back to image batch, check enlarge images, and click process. Now we can see that every image has a width of 1600 pixels. Next, I'll demonstrate the reduce feature. So let's click the reduce tab. As you can see, the output folder name automatically changed, but again, you can change that to whatever you like. For the reduce options, you're presented with the reduce by percentage screen by default. Let's say your images have file sizes that are too large for a submission you're doing, or you just want to slim them down for website efficiency. With this slider, you can select a percentage value to reduce all of your images down by. For example, if one of the images in your batch has a file size of 1 megabyte and you select a reduction of 10%, this process is going to trim that image down to at least 900 kilobytes. For the compressible image types, which are JPEG and HEF, image batch will apply compression to those images until the desired reduction is met, and only under extreme reduction will it shrink the dimensions of the image, but it always tries compression first. For the non-compressible image formats, which are TIFF and PNG, image batch always shrinks the dimensions of the image until the desired reduction is met. So to demonstrate, let's select a reduction of 20% and click process. Again, we can see the newly created folder with the reduced images. And if we look at the file size of this image originally, 989 kilobytes, and then compare it to its reduced version, 770 kilobytes, we can see that the file size has shrunk by at least 20%. The second screen available on the Reduce tab allows you to actually enter a desired maximum file size per image. You can get there by flipping the desired file size switch. Here, you can enter a maximum desired file size that will apply to every image in your batch of images. To demonstrate, we can say we want the maximum file size of any image to be 500 kilobytes. First, we can leave kilobyte selected for the unit, and then enter 500 in the desired file size box. And then click process. Now, we can see that all the images that had a file size larger than 500 kilobytes has been reduced to below 500 kilobytes. And any image that was already less than 500 kilobytes was just copied over untouched. Next, we can move on to the Convert tab. Again, you can see that the output folder name has been updated. In the Convert to dropdown, select one of the 4 available image formats to convert to: JPEG, PNG, TIFF, or HEF. With JPEG and HEF, the compression slider is available and determines the amount of compression to be applied to the image during conversion. Choose Max Compression for the lowest quality image with the smallest file size, or Max Quality for the highest quality image. Let's convert all of our images to HEF with a compression of 0.5. So again, you can see the new folder, and looking inside, all the images have been converted to HEF. Now for the Duplicates tab. Here, you're just presented with a duplicates box. Once you hit process, any duplicate images found will be listed here and will not be copied over to the output folder. I've already created a couple of duplicate images in selected folders, so we'll see them show up here. Let's click process. As you can see, the duplicate images have been listed here, which again means those 2 images were not copied to the output folder, so that the output folder only contains unique images. We can confirm that by opening the No Duplicate Images folder and verifying that there are only 18 images compared to the original 20. Now we can move to the Watermark tab. You can select the image that you're going to use as the watermark. This image must also be one of the supported image types: JPEG, HEF, TIFF, or PNG. I've created a sample PNG watermark to use here. And to note, the watermark image does not change size or transform in any way, so verify its size to your liking in regards to the images to be watermarked before processing here. So let's select that image. Next, we can select any combination of the 5 watermark positions: top left, top right, center, bottom left, or bottom right. Let's choose bottom right and top left and click process. Now, opening up the output folder, we can see that the watermark has been applied to all the images in our selected positions. Now, moving to the Rename tab. Here, you can enter a new common file name for all of your images. In order to keep the name unique for every image, an ascending number is added to the new file name upon processing. Using the Count Position selector, you can choose to prepend or append that number to the new file name. So let's enter a new file name and choose to append the ascending numbers. And as shown in the output folder, all of our images now have that new file name.